All right, let's get this started. All right, I am Dungeon Master Dildor, and tonight is the Adventure Forge stream, where we will be just, I'm going to be doing a short review of the Mechagnome, which is a fun adventure that I just finished up with my stream on Tuesday. So, I'm going to kind of put this down a little bit. There we go. So, yeah, so we're going to be starting that up. You know what? I got to get the old headphones on here. Alright, I'm all tangled up over here, but we're good. We're good. Alright. I could bring the music back a little bit. There we go. So, and then we're going to go and create some more monsters. And, basically, I've started creating this, adventure. I'm not sure what to call it, because it's going to end up being a bunch of, like, game systems plus an adventure that uses the game systems. So, basically, like a crafting system, some crafting, gathering, building, and not just like, just think like a Stardew Valley type game inside of D&D. Like, that's kind of what I'm trying to craft with a, well, if you played Valheim, I'm basically trying to make Valheim in D&D. So, but we're gonna start off with the, well, let me move some windows around here, but we're gonna start real quick with Warble Sparkcoil's incredible Mechagnome. So, here it is. Here it is. So, this is an adventure that I finished running on Tuesday. I was running it when my main cast, if somebody was out and we didn't want to play Tomb of Annihilation, I whipped and prepared this up 1 week, and I was like, all right, let's run this. And everybody agreed, so we ran it. It took 2 sessions to get through, which is something that the adventure itself doesn't say, but I kind of, just reading over it, you could tell that it was going to take more than one. It's kind of like 2 adventures combined. So this is an adventure, 5th edition adventure, and it's made by DMDave. I'm a big fan of his stuff, so check out his Patreon. He's got a bunch of good stuff on there, and I get a lot of adventures from him. Like, every month I download a bunch of PDFs, and he's also started doing Foundry things, so you don't even have to prep it. I'm dumb, and I'm gonna show you what I did with this one, where I had the files to just import it into Foundry, and I didn't know I had the files. So I ended up just prepping it manually, which is no big deal. It took me about 3-4 hours-ish, but I didn't know I had the files that I could just upload and be done, so do that. Don't do what I did. But anyway, so this is 4 characters up to level 7, recommended for level 7. I ran it with level 7s. Worked out fine. There was one trouble spot, and we'll get to that, but there was just one trouble spot. Also, spoilers if you're playing or planning on playing in a game this adventure. I'm going to be talking about spoilers, so just get out of there. So, I mean, I'm not going to do like a line by line, but the main hook of this adventure is that there's a gnome named Warble Sparkcoil who's crafting this giant mechanical gnome. And there's a couple hooks here that you use. I used the one where it was an intelligence agency hired the characters to infiltrate the Warbus laboratory to figure out what he's building in there, and if necessary, destroy it. Blah blah blah. We were running it as a one-shot, so reward doesn't really matter because it's a one-shot. So, Mystery Island is the place it takes where it takes place, but of course you can plop it anywhere in your campaign setting, whatever. Warble Sparkcoil is a good name, though. I wouldn't change that. And I didn't. So, the two parts of the adventure are, the first one is the workshop, and the second part is the Mechagnome itself. So, you start by, well, let's pull the map up. Here we go, there's the map. So, they start here in the middle. And this is basically like an abandoned mine shaft, so that's like how they infiltrated this place. And the way it ran with my group, it ran fine. They got to here. They spent the minute it took to carve themselves out of here. There's a neat encounter here with 4 books that come to life and just start whacking them. And then there's also a smothering rug on the ground. And that is a great, like, intro because it's like they walk in. It just looks like a library. They're not expected to fight anything, but now they have to fight books. And then also the rug doesn't activate until round 2. So then you get a delayed, like, here's another thing. It's really neat. One thing that I do have a little bit minor gripe with this adventure, knowing what I do now, and maybe if I read it a little more thoroughly, I probably would just have made these doors either completely locked and they wouldn't be able to get in there. It's a big red herring for this adventure, and it actually took up about a half hour to 45 minutes of my playtime of them trying to figure out, like, what's going on here. And the thing is it's not relevant to the adventure at all. It's just there's some mechanical stuff, there's some checks, and they could spend, like, I think it's like a certain amount of weeks studying it to, like, open this portal to another dimension, and then it just literally tells you the dimension you can go anywhere you want it to go. So if you were putting this in a main camp, if you were putting this adventure in a large campaign, this would be something maybe cool to have so that they can go back to it and maybe use it to go to another portal to another world or something. But for a one-shot, as I was running it, it's completely useless and a red herring, and it just distracted my players. So I probably would have made it much harder for them to get into this room just so that they didn't get distracted by it. But they got distracted by it. It took some time, and eventually I kind of pushed them subtly, like, kind of nudge them that whatever you're trying to do is going to take longer than you have. Go find the thing they're building. So they went on. There's some cute little levers in this room. Each lever opens up a different kind of section of the map. 10 is where they want to go. That's like where they can go to the next floor. Also, or how they continue on. 8 and 9. 8 has an encounter with a crazy mage. That went fine. The mage was supposed to animate like a knife to attack the player parties with them. I ended up not using that little bit of the encounter because of the way they were kind of like, they were kind of yelling at the mage from the door. So I had the mage toss a fireball at him, which was fun and surprising for them. They ended up just killing it immediately after. Like, it's just a mage, so, and it was a crazy one. I didn't have mage armor, just wrecked it. Waiting in here, if they make any noise in this room, there's an assassin in here that will move to room 7, lock that door, and just kind of wait for them. They opened this door quietly, so the assassin was in here. I had him hiding. No, I didn't have him hiding. I just had him standing right there, and then he turned, and he just struck out at him. Actually, you know what? If I remember correctly, he didn't strike at him. He just bounced back out. But anyway, it was a pretty easy fight. It's just a single assassin. They caught the assassin off guard, so that's great. The problem with assassins comes later, because they're used again in this adventure. Again, this is kind of, there's a little bit of background of who, this is Warbus's main office. They get a little information out of here. This room's basically, I could have put treasure and things in there, and there was like some treasure for them to take, but it was, I mean, there wasn't really anything in there. Like, it was kind of a waste of a room, but that's fine. This one had a big encounter with these mechs that were basically just reskinned. One was reskinned steam methods, which are awesome. I love steam methods. And then the other one was just a reskinned baboon. It said to use the sets of a baboon, but making them mechanical. That's fine. It was just a fight. They fought it. Moved on. So one thing, if you notice on the map, there's no door here. There's actually supposed to be a door here, and it's supposed to be locked. So that kind of caught me off guard. I had to quickly draw a door there and block that off, because the way they unlock the door is by sabotaging the equipment in here, which starts another fight. Also, there's this there's something, hiding in here, or not hiding in here, but there's a living creature in there, a person. And if they destroy the equipment in this room, it basically turns the power off, and then he dies in there. So it's kind of like this. You can kind of have this moral quandary where it's like, oh, he looks like he's hooked up to this equipment. And then it's like, oh, well, you could probably shut down the equipment, unlocking the door to area 10, but that might kill him. My players tried to break him out of there. I had him die anyway. I didn't want him wandering around. He just died when they had... It was basically damned if you do, damned if you don't. He was gonna die. These rooms, there were some NPCs, some of them talkative. I had an orc in here who was tongueless, a tongueless orc, so he couldn't talk. Then there was another person here that was giving a gnome, an ex, like, who used to be part of the workshop. Just, it was interesting. He was the way that kind of told them how to move on to the next area, so that's how I used them. They let him go. And then the next area is the workshop itself. These doors are locked, basically, and they can't get through them unless it's like I think it's like a DC 20 check. So they could get through it if they pass the check, but otherwise they have to kind of take the long way around. There's some sleeping gnome commoners, basically, in here that they can talk to or try to get some information out of. Another one is in here getting attacked by one of those mechs that has gone crazy, and you can save him and then get some information that way. That's how my players discovered this secret pathway, which they took to get into this room. And this is where the mech is. The mech starts right here, the giant gnome mech. It's I think it's like 35 feet. It's 35 feet by 50 feet, and then I think it's like 80 to 100 feet tall. It's labeled as gargantuan in the stat block, which we'll go to the stat block and we'll talk about that. I really like how the Mechagnome was made. But basically, there's a small fight that happens in here, and then the Mechagnome activates. I had it when the Mechagnome activates. Basically, I had him walk through this southern wall and leave. And when that happens, it makes the whole area collapse, and they have to make dex saves or take damage. And that's where I ended the first session. So doing this whole thing was I think 3.5 hour session. Fine, perfectly good little dungeon romp. Worked great. So, I mean, this is all the text. I have nothing to complain about here. It's all well written out. It's a DMDave adventure. It's really, like, organized really well. I rarely had problems finding the things that I needed to find. See, like, this is that observatory room, which has all this information that basically just sums up to nothing that's relevant to the adventure. So, so it's just... I would probably just scratch that if I was running it again as a one-shot. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. So now we get to the second half, which is the Mechagnome itself. So what I did that's not included in this adventure is, the Mechagnome activated and walked away. Basically, it was walking away from them. And you could do this theater of the mind, but what I did is I made a big giant battle map that had just grass on it, and I put a mech token, that was a big-ass mech token, and basically, there was a fight with the Mechagnome. I had them roll initiative, and you're fighting this Mechagnome. And basically, they were going to fight the Mechagnome until they figured out how to get inside of it. And it worked perfectly, because as soon as the Mechagnome was able to turn around, and I'll get into how the Mechagnome works, because it's... Actually, we'll do that now while we're talking about it. The Mechagnome, here's the stat sheet for it. So, gargantuan vehicle, 35 feet... Oh, he's 200 feet tall. All right, I kind of... made him shorter. Oh, well, he's a gnome. He could be short. So this is how, I believe, this is how Wizards of the Coast does all of their vehicles now. And it's like a vehicle stat block, which is kind of interesting. So they have 20 crews, 60 passengers. It weighs a certain amount, and it has a speed, 72. That doesn't really matter too much unless you're doing long distance travel. It's got strength, dex, and con. It doesn't have any, what's it called? It doesn't have any of this stuff. Has some damage immunities, which is fire, poison, psychic, and then bludgeoning from non-magical attacks that are adamantine. So when I was running this, only 1 or 2 people had magical weapons. So only 1 or 2 of them was actually doing physical damage to it during the fight, which worked out great. One thing I messed up, and I couldn't I couldn't retcon on because I messed it up like for 2 or 3 rounds in a row, is I missed that it had a damage threshold. So the way a damage threshold works, if you've never used it, is it will take no damage unless it's 20 or more damage. So that means if you do 19 damage to it in one hit, it does 0 damage. So I forgot about this, but it was no big deal. I let them wail away on the feet. They did about 100 damage to the feet, but about when they hit so it says -5 feet per 50 damage taken. The way I kind of nudged them towards going inside the Mechagnome was when they hit this first threshold, the first 50 damage taken, I had the door on the foot swing open, basically. Like, they did enough damage where the door just came open. And then after they took 1 or 2 eye lasers and realized that maybe they shouldn't be going toe-to-toe to this thing, they all kind of just ran right inside the foot, and that was perfect. I wouldn't use this Poison Cloud attack on them unless you wanted to kill them. It's pretty powerful. Actually, now I'm looking at it. Maybe I should have used it. It actually wasn't as powerful as the eye lasers. I was hitting them with eye lasers. Oh well. I thought the Poison Cloud was going to do more damage, that's why I ignored it. But anyway, but it only gets to do this once, so I kind of was just holding on to it once a day, see? And then, what's neat about vehicles that I noticed here is, it has a hull, which is basically its HP, so it has 500 HP, and the hull has a damage threshold of 25. Then it's got a helmet with 200 HP and a damage threshold of 10, but a higher armor class, 25 armor class. That's high for level 7 creatures. Not many people are gonna be hitting that. The feet, 20 AC is fine. They were able to hit it plenty fine since I ignored the damage threshold. And honestly, I'd recommend that. Ignore the damage threshold for the feet. Let them beat up the feet and let them break their way into the feet. Like, that's fine in my opinion. Otherwise, they have to, like, roll perception to find the secret door on the feet, I think. And then, like, what do they... I don't know. Or you can make it swing open or make it very obvious there's a door there. Yeah, it doesn't really say exactly how the doors are hidden, or if they're hidden. So, and then the eye lasers, they hit for 88 force damage. That was a good amount of damage. The range is basically forever. I gave the eye lasers a cone of vision, which kind of forced the mech to have to turn, and then I also had a facing for the mech. So, because it said, the reason why I did that was because during its move action, it says it can use its helm to move with its feet. But it did say something about only being able to turn 90 degrees. So what this tells me is that orientation of the Mechagnome mattered. So I made it so it's like it can't shoot its eye lasers unless you're in front of it, and I gave it a 90-foot or a 90-degree cone in front of it that it can shoot its eye lasers, which is cool. And then I also made it like glow on the ground a little bit, kind of like an MMO RPG fight, so that my players would know if they're in or outside of the threat of the laser, so they could kind of position themselves better, give them a fighting chance. But like there's no beating this. Like, this isn't a fight. Like, unless they come up with some crazy plan to go toe to toe with this thing, they probably shouldn't be fighting it. So the fight went, and they got in the foot, and the adventure started off in this foot. So the one thing I'll complain about with this, and while I was running it, is there's a whole lot of like nothing going on in some of these rooms. Like a whole lot of nothing, which is fine. But like I felt myself telling my players, or like investigating, I'm like, yeah, there's nothing else in here except some machinery that's whirring away that you don't know what it does. And that's like this room, this room, this room, all these tiny rooms around the edge here. This room has an encounter in it if you mess with anything, I believe. And then actually I think this had an encounter in it too. One of the encounters they never triggered. They triggered this one. They didn't trigger this one. This one had a bunch of those, more of those steam method flying robots. This one had one of those apes and 2 of those robots. So there was a small fight there. So the problem, here's where, like, it went south for my group, is, in 8 and 9, there's two more assassin gnomes hiding in these rooms, but they're not really hiding. The way the book says, they're like the, here, let's go to 8 and 9 here. There are lieutenants. So there's Lieutenant Helix and Lieutenant Gulp. They're both assassins. So the way the adventure says is if they sabotage any of the equipment in any of the lower floors here, they will wait in room 7 to ambush them. So when they went up this elevator to get to this room, I had the assassins ambush them. And first turn, I knocked basically 2 of them down. 2 of them were standing. They couldn't take out these assassins. And so I had the assassins basically capture them. And also I had them allow them to stabilize the 2 that they knocked out. So now there's 2 of my players were knocked out and 2 of my players were captured, basically. I had them put handcuffs on all of them and confiscate all their weapons. And bring them upstairs. So then they got to go with these lieutenants through the rest of the adventure, which was fine. There's just some drunk gnome scientists playing cards here, some more drunk gnome scientists playing cards here. Again, not too much variation here. One of these had a trap that could go off that one of the gnomes could set off, but it would kill them too. So I'm like, that's a like drastic move. I think it was this room has that. That never came into play. And took them all the way up to this 12 room up here that had 2 more gnome scientists that were basically they were the ones controlling the mech. And when they brought them up here, they went to talk to the leader, and then there was some shenanigans where they tricked one of them into thinking the other one was working with them and got him killed. Because I needed to take these assassins away some ways. Then 2 of them escaped. The 2 that were conscious escaped, and it became this is where it got really interesting, and it had really nothing to do with how the adventure was formed, and it was just all of me just making shit up on the fly. It became a cat and mouse chase, where one of them ran away, the one lieutenant chased after him, and they started, basically he got away, got to the elevator shaft, went all the way to the bottom floor, and hid in a room and waited. And then I had the assassin trying to track him and look for him, and he had to go floor by floor looking for him. Then there was another mage up here that was babysitting the other one. When she turned her back for a moment or went to the other room, the other one ran out, and then that was another chase that was kind of happening. So there was this 2 chases that were happening. A cool moment happened down here where my player was like, can I grapple him? As he walked into the room and didn't see him because his stealth was too high. I'm like, yeah, you can grapple him. So he grapples him, and then basically smashes his head into, I described that room as having like moving pistons going up and down. So he's like, I smashed his head into one of the pistons. And I was just like, oh, wow. So I just pulled 10d10 out of my butt as bludgeoning damage, because I imagine a mechanical piston going up and down would not be kind to somebody's head. Almost killed him. The gnome got 2 attacks off that missed, and then he killed him the next turn by finishing him off with the piston. Really cool moment. My players all loved it. My 2 unconscious players on this floor were loving watching my 2 other players run around and try to do this. What ended up happening is, I believe the one that was smashed the heads ended up making his way back up here, tried to rescue these guys. I had the mage come out and go, what are you guys doing? And I'm like, well, she casts Cone of Cold. And they're like, that's the end of it. I'm like, yeah, that's the end of the fight. She casts Cone of Cold. You guys are all dead. I gave them plenty of chances to potentially escape, but like I was like, at this point, no, they would probably die. But the last player left standing left the mech and started climbing up its body on the outside. Why? I don't know. But it made for this cool moment. He infiltrated through the ear, came up here, tried to sabotage what was going on, started a fight, ran into the other room, and then he eventually succumbed to battle and died. I had him roll all of his death saves. I had the others roll their death saves. Only one of them... Basically, I didn't have the gnomes finish him off. I had them just, like, ditch him out into a field. Where they just woke up 24 hours later. So, they ended up failing the quest of destroying the Mechagnome. But it was a cool adventure, and everybody had fun. Everybody liked it. So I would say I recommend this adventure. I think it's really good. There's some stuff that maybe I would go in and maybe put some more interesting things in here if I wanted to. I would also probably, like I said, I would lock off this section of it, or maybe add something more relevant to the current adventure there. And really the rest of it is fine. The assassin there is fine. Everything else, maybe put an item in here, like a magic item that would help them fight the Mechagnome would be kind of cool, or something. Yeah, good adventure. I don't know if I'm supposed to give things scores. I give this, my gut is saying 8 out of 10. It's 8 out of a 10 adventure. Yeah, I'd run it again. Probably won't, because there's so many adventures out there, and I want to run all of them. So, yeah. Alright, we're gonna go ahead, and I'm gonna open up some stuff, and we're gonna go back to adventure, or going back to creating some creatures. So, let's go to my... That's not it. Which one of it is this? This one. Yeah, there we go. Alright, there we go. See, I made a blob, but that was the last creature I made. Alright, so... I'm gonna bring out my list of creatures. And we'll, hopefully we'll finish the rest off today. Excuse me. You know what, we won't get to the bosses. But, alright, we're gonna do tree dwarfs. Because we did Jogger and Blobs last time, now we're gonna do some tree dwarfs. So tree dwarves are gonna be they're gonna be the creatures that hang out in the forest and protect the forest from the players. And the players are gonna want to like get resources from the forest, and the people in the forest are gonna be like, nah, you can't do that. So they'll functionally they'll just be on a random encounter table, and they'll have to fight these guys every once in a while. So, let's see. Alright, so here's my list of monsters I've made so far. Yeah, we got Jogger, Bowman. Yeah, that's right, we made all the different types of Joggers. So I have a Treeling here. So I'm actually going to load up the Treeling real quick. Alright, so here's the Treeling. So we made him 1/8, 25 XP, gave him some resistances and some vulnerabilities. He's only got 5 health, 11 armor, and he only attacks with his claw, so... Little weakling guy. Not supposed to be that strong. At level 0, though, will be probably pretty strong. So, tier 2, they will be level 1. So, basically, we're balancing for a level 1 adventure, or level 1 things. So, for the Treeling... Well, let's go to D&D Beyond. We're going to go over to Monsters. We're going to go over to Plant, and we're going to filter the plants. Alright, cool. And then we're going to sort by CR. So, oh wait. Right away, as I'm looking at this, we got the Vegapygmy. As a 1/4, which is kind of what I want these guys to be at. We get some plant camouflage, some regeneration, claws. They use slings as well. They got a little bit of HP. Unfortunately, though, they're part of Volo's Guide to Monsters, so they're not part of the SRD. So maybe, to be safer from a... from a copyright standpoint, instead of me modifying a Vegapygmy, we'll go with a Needle Blight. Yeah, Needle Blight seems okay. We'll kind of start with. Yeah, so we're going to go in here. Plus, it won't show up in here because the only ones that show in here are SRD compatible ones. So a needle blight should be in here though, but he's not. Well, that's frustrating. All right, so let's restore default and let's just go from there, and we'll do it with the needle blight here and kind of copy what's going on here. But we're gonna call this a tree dwarf. Tree dwarf. All right, medium size. Sounds good. I think the treeling was small. Humanoid, nope. Plant, yep. Alignment. I've been making these chaotic neutral. They're not evil creatures. They just want to protect their land. Hit dice. We'll give them 2 hit dice. Armor. We can give him some natural armor. He has a dex of 1. So we're going to do that. We're going to put the 1 natural armor bonus to 1. Giving him a 12 dex. 12 strength, 13 con, 4, 8, 3. Okay, beautiful. Speed, 30 feet. Alright, so needle blights can't be blinded or deafened because they have blind sight. Well, I don't think I want to give my dwarves blind sight. So we're gonna not do that, which means we're not gonna give him the blind immunity to blind and deaf. Creature can. Oh, but he is deaf. Wait, no, wait. Why would he be immune to being deafened? That's weird. I don't want to know why the needle blade is. It's fine. All right. So the other thing I want to look up though is I've been using the Valheim wiki to kind of get my inspiration for these creatures and what they can do. So they call them Grey Dwarves. Okay, so jaws and throw stones. So they bite? They kind of they hit you with their hands in the game, so I don't know why that's called a bite. But they're weak to fire, resistant to poison, and immune to spirit. So we're gonna add that in. So they are weak to fire, vulnerable. Resistant to poison, and then I've been using radiant. They're immune to radiant, so that's all the same, I believe, as the treeling. The one thing I'm gonna give them is I want to give them perception. I want to make them proficient, because they're annoying and they always seem to be able to find you. So this gives them a passive perception of 11. I'm going to bump up their wisdom, I think, to 12. To give them a 13 passive perception. And then they have a perception plus 3 to find things. That just gives them, they're the sentries. They're the ones on the lookout. They're going to be the ones always looking for people invading the forest. So I want to make them better at that job. Since we gave them 2 hit dice and 13 con, that gave them actually 11 HP. Oh, which is the same as the needle blade, which is perfect. Okay, that's fine. That's more than double what that's about double what the treeling has. It'll be perfect. You're rarely going to just fight one of these anyway. Alright. Alright, let's move on to attacks. Because, yeah, we're going to keep these guys pretty simple. I want to give them a stone throw attack, which will be a ranged attack. Similar, pretty much going to be this needles attack, but bludgeoning instead of piercing damage. And then claws. Wonder where they do double hit dice of damage. I mean, other than they wanted to bump up the amount of damage they do, but maybe we'll just do the same thing here. Alright, so double hit points of damage. Alright, so we're going to add a preset. We're going to do weapon attack. Let's strength base it, because it's a melee attack. Who is calling me? Oh, okay. That's not important. And then... Alright, these guys are called tree dwarfs. You know what? It's with 2 Ds. Tree dwarf. Tree dwarf. No, it's not 2Ds. I'm a dummy. It's Tree Dwarf. 1D. What I'm talking about. Alright, so melee weapon. Gonna use that. Reach 5 feet. It's a melee attack. We're gonna call it a claw attack. Oh, it says claws, so I guess it's assuming it's the needle bite's attacking with both of its claws. That's why it's 2d4. We'll do the same. Claws. 2d4 with strength. And instead of piercing... Oh, they're like stabbing with theirs? Now we're going to do slashing. Slashing with their claws. So we can go ahead and add action. Boom. Boom. Got our first attack. Claws. 6 damage. Looks good. Looks good to me. And then we're basically going to do a ranged weapon attack. We're going to call this Dex, but it doesn't really matter because they both... It's a +1 to both. Range. So, throwing a rock. I guess 30-60 there. I want to do 20... We do 20-40. And 40 is the max range. Because you're chucking a rock. How far can... 20 feet? Even 20 feet seems far for throwing a rock. Like, my initial thought was maybe, like, 15... 50 with advantage. No, like 30 with advantage. Alright, let's... So, if we do, like, throw stone... It's not really working here. So, here's a stone golem. Can they throw stuff? No, they can't. I know there's like... There's giants. There's the stone giants. And they always... So, yeah, they chuck a rock. So that's like super long range, but that's because they're huge and very, very strong. Is there any smaller creatures that can throw rocks? So we stick to monster. Maybe if we throw... What if we type the word rock under monsters? What's a rock gnome do? Oh, I don't have Ice Fire Speak, so I don't know. Hill Giant Sub-Chief, Tomb Tamper, Underworld Stone Giant Keeper, Cerberus Skeleton. Ooh, Ape. What's he do? Here we go! Alright, so we got an ape who is CR, what is his CR? He's CR 1/2, so he's a little stronger. And he's got 2550, so we're just gonna do that. We're gonna do 2550. Same as a monkey. Damage-wise, we're not gonna... Yeah, well, we were gonna do... I think it was 2d4 again. But I like changing it up to 1d6. And then making it bludgeoning damage, obviously. And we'll just call this rock. Call it throw rock. Oh, I didn't need to put a period at the end. Okay. Cool. Update. 1d6 plus 1. Alright, yeah, so a rock attack is slightly weaker than the claw attack. That makes sense. Claws, we have it do 2d4 because he's basically attacking with both of his claws. But he's only chucking one rock. So, a rock apparently in Dungeons & Dragons is a weapon that does 1d6 damage. So, boom. Done. Wow, we actually kind of recreated the a weaker ape in a lot of ways because we upped the wisdom even. Fine by me. Oh, and even give them perception. They also have athletics. I'm not giving them athletics. Ape would have been a good start. Oh, but the ape does multi-attack, which is probably what puts it at the CR1 half range. Yeah. Alright, I did have a language. We should finish up the language. I was giving all of them Terran language. We have it at CR1, but I was only going to do 1/4. But now we have to test that. So we're going to go to my favorite CR calculator. Right here. Alright, so hit dice, 2 hit dice, 12 con, medium-sized creature, 11 HP, AC's 12. Damage per round. So 6 damage per round. That's basically just what it does. And it's got a +3 to hit, right? Yep. +3 to hit. Doesn't use saves. I'm not really clicking vulnerabilities, and because if you click vulnerabilities and then click resistances, it just balances out. So it can't fly. It doesn't have save proficiencies, and it has none of this. So yeah, we nailed it right on the head there. 1/4 CR. That doesn't happen often for me. So all right, I think we're good here. This is supposed to be a very simple creature. He just runs up, whacks things, throws rocks. I mean, we can look here and see if we can find any more inspiration, if this thing can do anything fancy. So they're hostile monsters, adult versions of Greylings, yep. Which I named them Treelings. They're found in groups, but they can be seen alone as well, so we'll spawn them in groups and solo. Or put them on the random encounter table. They fear fire, throw rocks as a ranged attack when the player's out of melee. They will hunt for players at nighttime. Okay, so they're more active at night. Which is a feature of Valheim, and probably something I'll do in the game. I'll probably make, like, when you roll on the random encounter table at night, it might be, you get a bonus to run into shit that wants to kill you. So apparently they're afraid of fire. We could give them an ability. It wouldn't be an ability, it would be technically, it would be really a weakness, but it would be considered an ability. Where if they have a torch, they will not move towards they will not willingly move towards a creature with a torch. But they will still chuck rocks at them. Now, if we go to the Greylings, do they also afraid of... So the Greylings aren't afraid of fire. They're just vulnerable to it. But apparently not smart enough to get away from it. But you know what? With the Greylings' higher wisdom... Yeah, you know what? Let's make them afraid of fire. Fear fire. A tree dwarf will not willingly move towards any open flame source. Food, torches, or torches and campfires. Alright, so this kind of creates something interesting for the players to eventually maybe learn and find out, is if they have an open torch, the tree dwarves will leave them alone, which will technically weaken them, because they'll only then be able to throw rocks at them. But I like this because it says willingly, so that means if the player moves towards them, I'm not having the tree dwarf run away from the flame. Alright, let's go find... Hold on, let's open up... Let's open up the fear spell and get some wording down. Creature's worst find. Each creature in cone. Okay, while frightened by this spell... Alright, so we're not going to make them make the dash action and move away. How about this? Let's edit this, okay. So, when a tree dwarf starts its turn within 30 feet of an open flame, including torches and campfires. Let's have them... Do they have to make a check? We could have them make a check, but that's kind of weird to have them make a check on something that... Because then it would be based on just like a general... I mean, I guess it could be like just a general DC 10. When a traitor starts its turn within 30 feet of an open flame, it must make a DC 10 Wisdom saving throw. Oh wait, Wisdom is capitalized with saving throw. Saving throw. Or must become... It must succeed. Okay, so it must succeed on a DC 10 Wisdom saving throw, or become frightened of the... Or become frightened of the fire. Oh. Or become frightened. Alright, that should be very obvious that when a tree dwarf starts its turn within 30 feet of an open flame, including torches and campfires, it must succeed on a DC 10 save, Wisdom saving throw, or become frightened. So, that's cool because the frightened stat says automatically cannot willingly move closer to their source of fear, and they have disadvantage on ability checks while its source of fear is within line of sight. So bringing... I like this. It gives them a little flavor here. It made it like perfect, and I like the... I think the writing... This should be pretty clear. Or become frightened. What's the source of the frightened status? It's the fire. We can put... Oh, so we should put some more to it. We should put the rest of that... The wording of the fear spell in there. They must move the dash action, blah, blah. We're going to put if the creature ends its turn in a location where it doesn't have line of sight to the fire source, the creature... Alright, actually, you know what? Let's look at... I want this kind of to work like the Dragon Fire, or the Dragon Fear spell thing does, or whatever that is. So let's look at a... let's look at a red... Poison Red Dragon. Red Dragon. Monsters. Not Wormling. Adult. Thank you. I want it to work the way Frightful Presence does. Yeah, so... Or become frightened. Let's just put for 1 minute. let's just do the tree dwarf can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect on a success. If the tree dwarf's saving throw is successful or the effect ends for it, the creature is immune to... The creature can no longer... Now, let's not make it immune. We'll just end it there. So it can get re-scared of the flames over and over again. It has to keep making its wisdom saving throw, as long as it's in the presence of fire. Yeah, that seems good. I want to make it immune to the fire, but I wanted it more the wording to be more like that they can repeat the throw at the end of the turn, ending the effect on a success. Not having to break line of sight to do it. Alright. I'm happy about that one. What's up, Alex? I see you there. Kazumeki. Sorry. Just named you. Now everyone knows. Okay, cool. Tree dwarf. Done. So let's save the stat block out. Oh shoot, that's not the right folder. Tree dwarf. Boom. And then we're going to save the image as well. Boom. Alright, cool. So we got the treeling now. And then the tree dwarf. Small plant, medium plant. 11 armor, 12 armor. Hit points 11, 5, speed 30 versus 25. Yep. Fire, poison, radiant, fire, poison, radiant. Has a perception skill, passive perception of 13. Ooh, dark vision. We forgot dark vision. Apparently I'm giving these guys... That makes sense, though. So, dark vision. 60 feet, so... 65? No, that's OP. We can't have that. Alright, now we can save it again. Alright, cool. Alright. The next thing we need to work on is a tree dwarf shaman. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to go look at the shaman stat blocks. I know there's just a plain ass shaman. There's a lizard folk shaman. There isn't just a regular shaman stat block. Alright, let's look at what the lizard folk shaman has. So he's CR2. He's got some spells. The boy's got spells. Alright, so this isn't... Alright, well, the thing about it is, in this game, Great Dwarf Shamans, they're not really... They do the same things. Oh, if they can heal and they can poison spray. Which is basically like a poison breath attack. So, we're not going to give them spellcasting. Like, they're not going to have... We're not going to do that. We're gonna give him basically a poison breath attack that is gonna be able to recharge. All right, let's just kind of. All right, let's bump up his HP. So we're gonna bump it up to 4 hit dice. We're gonna call this Tweeter Shaman. They're medium sized as well. I don't even think I think everything here is gonna be medium sized. They're not gonna get that much bigger. Same armor. So Wisdom's gonna go up even more though. I like the 15 sounds good. Yeah, they're still not charismatic. They're still plants. They're not very smart. Strength, Dex, Con's gonna be the same. We could probably bump up their HP a little bit more by even putting this maybe to 14. That seems good. Oh wait, there we go. Yeah, that's a good amount of HP. Keep the perception up, which is going to be even better. We're going to keep the fire, poison, radiant. I think there's still fire, poison, radiant. Yep. Dark vision, fine. Perception, fine. Language, fine. We're going to keep the fear, fire. I believe they're still... Ooh, they're not scared of fire. Okay. Okay. So, bye-bye fear fire from them. So, they have 1/4. Yeah, we're gonna shoot for... We're gonna shoot for 1/2 for this. I think I might have given them too much HP, but let's see here. No, that totally did not. They still have low. Alright, so maybe we do boost their HP up just even a little bit more. But let's work on the attack. So, I kind of want... Remember I said I liked steam methods? I just like methods. So the closest thing to this... I mean, steam... There's no such thing as like a poison method, right? Yeah, so we're going to go with... We'll just use the steam method. We're going to copy basically this steam breath attack. But it's going to do poison damage instead of... So... We go down here. I mean, there might be a breath weapon. Yeah, cone. What's that preset look like? The monster exhales poison in a 15-foot cone. Each creature in the area must make a DC... Or it says 10. But it's going to be 8 plus proficiency plus wisdom. So 8 plus 2 plus 2, so it's 12. So DC 12. Dexterity. Saving. You know what? It's Constitution. Constitution. Most poison effects are Constitution saving throws. And this says 1d8 fire damage. So we'll start with 1d8 poison damage. And we're going to recharge on a... That says 6. We're going to do 5 or 6. 33% chance to recharge. Nope, it's just called Breath Weapon. We're going to call this... Alright, they're not going to throw rocks, but they're going to keep the claws. I kind of want to see what the damage between the claws are. They're the same damage, so we're not gonna... Not bad. So it says 25. So this tells me, I mean, for this is saying it should be, and then it does like a debuff attack. We could make it. We could taking becoming poisoned. Taking 1d8 poison damage and becoming poisoned for 1 minute, or half as much damage on a successful. I don't know. Becoming poisoned for 1 minute. I feel like there should be like a lasting debuff. Okay. What's this rudder kid do? Bite. Constitution saving throw against disease or become poisoned. Yeah, that's not really what I'm looking for either. I like this. Or taking 1d8 poison. Okay, so D12 Constitution saving. Okay, so let's do this. Each creature in the area must make a Constitution saving throw. Now, instead of this crap, we're gonna say target must succeed a Constitution saving throw or become poisoned. While poisoned in this way, the target can't regain hit points, and it takes 1d6. So we're gonna do d6 poison damage at the start of each of its turns. Poison target can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect of itself on a success. Boom. Oops. Fuck, I meant to add action. Okay. Now, we're going to make that recharge 6, because that's actually quite powerful. Alright, so the Tree Dwarf Shaman exhales poison in a 15-foot cone. Each creature in that area must make a DC 12 Constitution saving throw or become poisoned. While poisoned in this way, the target can't regain hit points, and it takes 1d6 poison damage at the start of each of its turns. The poison target can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect on itself on a success. Is 1d6 enough? I think it is. Alright, so this is how this is going to work for calculating the damage, because it'll be interesting. First turn, 0 damage, because it hits 2 people with the poison breath, okay? So first turn is going to be 0 damage. Second turn, we're going to assume does 1d6 and 1d6, so that's 3, that does 6 damage, and then 12, additionally 6 damage because he's going to claw. And then are we going to, like, for the third turn, do we assume they fail their saving throw again? So it'll be 12 plus 12 divided by 3. That's how much damage per round I think it's going to do. Eight. I mean, that's not very high. Who was that? Who was that? I missed it! Thanks for the sub, or the follow. Whoever that was. I should be watching. Was that you, Alex? Were you not following me until now? So I have a thing that I should be able to see. View docs. Twitch activity feed. There it is. Aha. Oh, Duke Ukum followed me. Hot tub stream when? So, I'm like, I told you, Johnny, I'm not joking. I will do. I have access to a hot tub whenever I want to. But yeah, thanks, bro. You're a real bro. Let's put this over here so I'm not, I don't want to miss my, follows. Alright, so I'm just continuing working on this silly Treedorf Shaman here. Alright. So, the average damage was 8, which is not a lot, and I don't think affects, if we put the saving throw here at, yes, is it 13 or 12? I think I put it at 12. Yeah, it's still not strong enough to be CR1 half. So we have two choices here. We can buff damage or we can buff health. Or buff armor. I don't think I want to make them harder to hit. I don't think... I don't mind making them a little chunkier. But I already did make them a little chunkier, I thought. Right, these are... Yeah, I gave them much more health. Wait, that doesn't make sense. How come I gave them way more health? Oh yeah, but it's still 1/8. Alright, let's bump up the health. Wait, no, why will this reset the counter? 68. Alright, so now... Okay, so that did it. That put it to 1/4. Oh, wait, but we wanted 1/2, didn't we? Alright, so that put the defensive up to 1/4. So we buffed the damage again. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're not going to buff that. We're going to buff this poison damage. 2d6. Let's see what that does. So 2d6 damage will be 7. So that'll be... Ooh, the damage per turn's much higher with that. Because that's 7 plus 7 plus 6 times 2 divided by 4. Nope. 40 divided by 4. That's 13 damage per turn. That puts it all the way up to CR1? That's too strong! 8 is the answer? It's always the answer. So 2d6 is too much damage? I mean, it is too much damage. That's a lot of freaking damage. At level 1, 2d6 poison damage could just kill a character. Alright, we're gonna go... We could change this from a d6 to like a d8? Or a d10? d8. A D8 would be up at action. Update would be 4. Would be 8. 4 plus 4 is 8. 8 plus 4 plus 4 plus 6 times 2 divided by 3 puts us up to 9. Why is that resetting? 9. 8. That's interesting. Why the big jump there? Why can't I get it to CR 1/2? Do we lower the health back down? There. That's it. Alright. We lower the health back down. Okay, so we're going to lower the health back down. So we're keeping it at 4 hit dice. And we have it at D8 poison damage instead. Okay, that seems to be perfect. That is 1/2 CR. What up? What up? We're done. Alright. Whew. Trito Shaman, I think, is done. Oh, he's got a healing thing. He's got a healing thing. So, an AoE heal, it calls it Healing Pollen. We'll totally call it that. But, we kind of give that a recharge too, right? We could put that as a 5/6 recharge. So, it's not going to be a breath weapon. Well, I mean, yeah. So, we're going to call it Healing Pollen recharge 5/6. 5 to 6. Alright, well, the only thing I can think of off the top of my head is Cure. It's not Cure Wounds spell. Can't remember what the hell. Mass Cure Wounds. Alright, well, obviously, it's not going to be that powerful. It's going to heal... You know what? I like this 1d8 poison. It can also heal. We're going to have it heal 1d8. So, a cloud of pollen fills the area around the what is this thing called? Around the shaman. A cloud of pollen fills the area in a 15-foot radius. Or 10 foot. Let's do 10-foot radius. I think 15 foot is a little too big. I don't want to do 5-foot radius because that would mean everything has to be basically touching him. So 10 foot seems good. So in the area of a 10-foot radius around the shaman. All creatures friendly to the shaman regains hit points. Regains 1d8 hit points. All creatures friendly to the shaman within that radius regains 1d8 hit points. I like that. This has no effect on undead or constructs. I don't. You know what? I'm just gonna. You know what? Instead of saying all creatures friendly to the shaman, because that's redundant, all plant creatures within the radius. So it's just anything that's a plant creature. Caught upon fills the area, 10-foot radius around the shaman. All plant creatures within that radius regains 1d8 hit points. Good to me. It's another action. So there we go. He can claw. He can poison breath. He can heal. He's a madman. So yeah, he's a good. He's good. It's kind of like a leader. So like it'll be like a shaman and like 3 little regular tree dwarfs, and it'll be an epic fight right there. Bite the fight. All right, so I think we're done with this one. Yeah, I think we are. I'm gonna save this stat block out. Save the image. Oh, sorry, you guys can't really. Maybe I shrink myself. Eep. Eep. There we go. Oh, gotta shrink this down now too. Eep. There. That's better. All right. All right. Next one we're gonna do is the tree dwarf root. Will be the Grey Dwarf Brute equivalent. So, he's beefy. He's going to be CR1 for sure. Alright. Still medium. I'm just going to straight up give him even more hit dice. He's definitely not going to have the poison breath. Definitely not going to have the healing. No. He has the same jaws attack, but it's like the claws. But I don't think I want to give him the claw attack. Well, first off, we're going to lower his wisdom back down to normal. I think we're going to bump his con to 15. 16? And we're going to bump his strength up to 14. And I think we're going to give him... We're going to give him a multi-attack, and we're going to make his attacks a d6. So, if we give him... Let's see... Multi-attack... Where's multi-attack? There it is. Alright. The monster makes 2... claw attacks. Done. Add action. Move it up to the top. Alright, who the heck's bothering me? I'm streaming. Alright, so multi-attack, 2 claw attacks. Now let's modify this claw attack because it's got to do more than this. So I think it's 1d6 plus strength. 1d6 plus strength will be 5. 5 times 2 is 10. Plus 4 to hit. Plus 5. Or 5 feet. Range 1. Alright, so 10. Plus 4 to hit. 68 with 16 con. I did it. I did it, guys. First try. First try. That's actually pretty good. Do we want to keep that perception up? Yeah, we'll keep the perception. I lowered the wisdom down, so he's not as perceptive as the shaman. But we'll keep him as perceptive as regular little guys. But yeah, these guys are just supposed to be big, beefy hitters. Do we make him a little harder to hit? What's his defensive CR anyways? Defensive CR is a quarter. If I bump that up too high, though, like, if we go to 13... Okay, we're fine at 13. 14... We're apparently fine at 14. 15... We're fine at 15. 16? When do we break it? 17 keeps him there as well. I don't want to make him that buff, though. But that makes me feel good, because that means I can put it anywhere between 13 and 17, and I'll be fine. So I actually think... I think I want to do... I want it higher than 12. I'm going to do 14. I think we're just going to do that and bump it up to 14. Make him a little harder to hit. He's got a little thicker hide. A little more HP. And then he just... Oh. Yeah, claws. Yeah, he slashes with 1d6 plus 2 damage of claws. I think that's perfect. That was an easy one, guys. Done. Done. Alright, saving that stat block out. Alright, you're at 8. So. What's next? What's his next? Shit. This? There we go. Alright, so we are done with the tree dwarf. We are done with the shaman, done with the brute. Alright, skeletons and shadows. So... Now there was somebody... Now, I think... What are skeletons? Skeletons are CR 1/4, I believe. I don't want to or need to change any of this. We will just use a normal skeleton. And then I think I picked shadows specifically because I think shadows work exactly how I want them to work. And they're CR 1/2. They fit within. These are all fitting. So we don't need the skeleton. We don't need the shadow. Because we already have stat blocks that work fine for those. Alright, now we got Old Root. Which we're going to make CR2. So let's go back to plant creatures here. Alright, so I think there was like an awakened tree somewhere. There he is. There he is. Is that something that's here? There it is. Boom. So we're gonna. This is our starting point. Because so we're gonna be replicating the creature, the Elder, inside of Valheim here. So he does this. He does a vine shoot attack, which is like a ranged attack. He does a stomp. And he does a spawn roots. And also, this is not a huge bit. You know what? We'll make him huge. Huge sounds right. I was thinking about making him even bigger, but no, huge is probably right for the size. So what did I name this guy? Old Root. Old Root. Old Root. All right. So we can't can't play around too much with this. So he is weak to fire, immune to poison and spirit. So he's not resistant to bludgeoning. He's weak to fire, and he's not. And he's immune to poison and spirit. So we're gonna do. Oops. We're gonna do immune to poison, and immune to spirit, which I have as radiant. Okay. But he's vulnerable to fire. Alright, and he speaks Terran, which is what I've been doing this entire time. Oh, wait, no. Terran. Alright. Strength is 19, Con is 15, Dex is 6. These are all great. I don't have to change. I am going to bump its wisdom up, though, to 18. Maybe 17 seems good. Yeah, 17's good. Because he's, like, kind of godly. He's got, or at least he's, like, godly powers. False appearance while it remains motionless is indistinguishable from a normal tree. That's fine, but we don't need it, because he's being summoned and the fight's going to start right away, so... there's no reason to have him be able to remain motionless. Alright, so Slam is fine. I might call it Stomp instead. Maybe Kick. Let's do a Kick. Alright, so Vine Shoot. So, the way it works in the game is he fires it in a straight line. And it does damage along that entire line. So it's kind of like lightning in that way. Lightning bolt. So Spawn Roots is definitely going to be something that will be an interesting part of the fight. How are we going to do that, though? So the way they work in the game is they spawn, and if you're within a certain area of it, they can attack. I like that mechanic. I like that idea that it spawns a bunch of things on the map. And we could have them, so if we make it a recharge 5/6 ability, we could also make that a legendary ability. We want to give them legendary attacks or legendary actions. If we give them legendary actions, the Awakened Tree can take 3 legendary actions, choosing from the options below. Only 1 legendary action can be used at a time. Only at the end. And we could do to take 1 legendary action. Yeah, I like this idea that I want him to be able to do that, where he creates this gray area where he plops down a bunch of roots around him that attacks. Maybe we give them their own Yeah, they could be attacked and destroyed. Excuse me. Ugh. I don't want to make any of you yawn. This one's going to be tough. Because we'll have to maybe create a sheet for the roots themselves. It'll be a very simple one. It'll be like a plant that has 0 movement speed, a certain amount of HP, a certain amount of armor, make it really weak, 10 armor class, maybe like zombie armor class 8. Like, just make them real easy to hit and real low health. But the thing is that he can always, like, it can recharge, and then he can always do it as a legendary action. Maybe I'll just make it a legendary action so he can't even use it as one of his actions. He can only either do, he'll be able to kick, he'll be able to use his, for his legendary actions, he'll be able to kick or vine shoot. Or then he could spawn roots as a legendary action. And then he might have multi-attack for the vine shoot and stomp. Now remember, this is CR2. This is going to be hard to balance. We're definitely going to lower this damage. Probably have it. If we go here, and we just bring this down to 1d6. We're going to put it in brackets with STR here. So if we do it this way, it should, yeah. Oops. I'll get rid of that 14, don't need it. Oh, that exactly halved it from 14 to 7. And then we can make the ranged attack hit anything along a line. He'll be able to multi-attack, so we'll go ahead and makes 2 kick attacks or 2 makes 2 attacks. Either kick attacks to, what are we calling that? Vine shoot? Shoot attacks or 1 kick, 1 vine shoot. Alright, cool. So that covers all the bases. Then we're going to add the vine shoot. Vine shoot. Now I'm gonna pull up the wording for lightning bolts. Sort of lightning. Okay. Vines shoot out of old root, forming a line 60 feet long and 5 feet wide. Each creature in the line must make a dexterity saving throw. Creature takes 2d6 bludgeoning damage on a failed save or half as much. Sus. No, you know what? On a just does, it's all or nothing. Add action. So he can hit multiple creatures, but there's a 50%. It basically does all or nothing damage. We gotta put this in a bracket so the program here understands. Multi-attack, kick, vine, shoot. Okay. So legendary actions. We're gonna add kick. Makes a kick attack as a legendary action. Vine, shoot. Makes a vine, shoot, attack. And then the last one is going to be his spawn root. Spawn roots. Recharge 5, 6. Okay. So it's an old root creates. Let's do 6. Yeah, let's do 6. Creates 6 roots. I call them roots. We're gonna call them like vile roots. Old root creates 6 vile roots within 30 feet. So let's look at another spell. I always use spells for wording because it's the easiest way I can find them. So we're gonna do like woodland east. No spells. Conjure woodland beings. Okay. They appear. Okay. Old root summons 6 vile roots that appear in unoccupied spaces that it can see within 30 feet. Old root summons 6 vile roots that appear in unoccupied spaces within 30 feet. The vile roots disappear when a vile root. Let's just say a vile root disappears when it drops to 0 hit points or 0 hit points. Not when this. Or old root is destroyed. The vile roots are friendly to old root. Roll initiative for the vile roots as a group, which have their own turns. Yeah, perfect. Alright, legendary action. Alright, cool. I am starting to like this. Alright, we're gonna call it Spawn Vile Roots because summon Vile Roots. Summon. Summon Vile Roots. Old Root summons 6 Vile Roots that appear in unoccupied spaces that it can see within 30 feet. A Vile Root disappears when it drops to 0 hit points, or when Old Root is destroyed. Or when Old Root is destroyed. Roll initiative for the Vile Roots as a group, which have their own turns. Cool. That's basic. And then I'm going to have to come up with a stat block for Vile Root, which is going to be a very simple creature. Maybe I'll have them... Maybe they won't even do damage. Maybe they will just grapple. Maybe I'll have the grapple do damage. It'll do like 1... Yeah, maybe it will. So we got actions, legendary actions. Alright. What is the... They could make 3 of these attacks a turn. So essentially it's 7 plus 7 plus 7. It's 21 damage per turn. Oof. That might be gross. 21. He hits on a +6. He has 7. Oh, he is a huge creature. He has 7, 12. 13. Alright, so we're at CR2. CR2. CR2! It works! Oh, AC is 13. His Constitution is 15. Still CR2. Perfect. This is perfect. Never up his health up at all. A little bit. A little bit. Okay. We'll go to 8 hit dice. 8 hit dice is okay. So we'll just bump that up to 8. So 68 HP, is that right? Yeah. So we don't have to give him legendary actions, but if I give him a single legendary resistance, yeah, that bumps it up too high. So we're not going to give him legendary resistance. We could lower his HP and give him some regen. Because then that gives him a troll-like ability. Yeah, this is basically like, I'm treating this like as if it was like a cantrip, kind of. So it's all or nothing. Makes a kick attack, makes a vine shoot attack. I don't like vine shoot. Because why would he be shooting? He's a tree. He doesn't shoot vines. And his name's Old Root. So we're gonna rename this to Vine Root to Root Shoot. Alright, I like that better just because it rhymes. Root Shoot. Root Shoot. Makes a Root Shoot attack. And then in the multi-attack, we just... Oh no! Wait! Damn it! I'll rewrite this all now. 2 kick attacks. 2 root shoot attacks. Or 1 kick and 1 root shoot. Perfect. Action. The attack goes to the top. Kick, root shoot. Update. Root shoot. Oh wait, why is that the awakened tree? Old root regains spent legendary actions at the start of the turn. Boom. And at the start of a turn, it also sees if it recharges. It's only got a 20-foot. It's not a mobile creature. This will be fun, I think. Alright, save that stat block for Old Root. Boom, boom, boom. That song was a little... wasn't feeling it. Although it was about to end, so... Alright. Old Root is done. Treater of Brute, Treater of Shaman. Alright, so... something I've been thinking about. So... we're gonna have to actually add some more creatures to this tier, I believe. Well, sorry, I'm gonna bring my sheet out here. So, insert a row. No. Not delete row, insert row. So, well, we've got a vile root we gotta make. We're gonna insert another row. So, basically, there's going to be these crypts and dungeons that you're going to have to explore to find out the location of where Old Root is. So, to do that, I'm not making a dungeon that only has skeletons and shadows. So, what I think I need to do is we're going to create, basically we're going to start creating an adventure. And I'm going to show you how I've been creating adventures lately. So if we go over to, what do we got here? We got, right. No, that's not it. Yeah, the writing class I took. So, okay. Cool. So I got this cool spreadsheet from the DMDave adventure planning or adventure writing class that I took. So we're gonna make another copy of this. So we're gonna make another copy. We're gonna go ahead and put it in. I have a writing folder. It's the same place I'm doing this Viking adventure stuff right here. We're gonna put it in this folder, and we're gonna call this Crypt Planning sheet. Boom. Cool. So, dungeon goal, adventure film, blah blah, all this stuff right here. We'll have to figure that out for this. But this encounter planning sheet, it's going to be a first level adventure. So that means 1200 XP for the adventuring. Oh wait, no, that's not right. Is that right? That might be right. But anyway, I'm going to use this to build out each of the things. So now, the next thing I have to create, usually, is... and maybe we'll do this next week. We'll do... I'll sit through and show you how I've been building dungeons. We will go through and build out a crypt. Now, the thing is with the crypt... I haven't decided if I'm going to make the... basically, I think I'm going to make the crypt a single place. There's going to be one crypt. In Valheim, there can be, like, literally, like, hundreds of crypts. But I'm not going to create a system... like, I don't want to put a system in place where you can, like... that's great in a video game. You don't want to do the same dungeon over and over again while you're playing D&D. That's not fun at all. So, we're going to make one crypt. Well... I just thought of something. What if instead of just one crypt? Well, okay, it is still one crypt, but instead of me planning it out to be one dungeon that has like an entrance and then an objective where they have to find where the next boss is, and then have kind of like a mini boss protecting it, which is what I'm planning on doing. What if instead of it being one crypt, we can make it 4 crypts? 4 crypts. And they all connect. And in the center of these 4 crypts, that you can find the entrances in 4 different locations. And you don't have to, like, it doesn't have to make sense. Just, you could just plop them in 4 different places. But there's 4 different ways to enter the crypt in each wing. That's how we're going to do it. Each wing will have basically its own encounters, and we'll plan it like this, and they'll all be level 1 encounters. There'll be 4 of them. That's how we're going to do it. And in the center is going to be the boss with the adventure. So that means no matter which wing they go in, they will get it, but then there's also 3 other wings for them to explore, potentially. And they can go and work their way through it. So this is going to be a very large map. I don't think I'll be able to find a map that is exactly what I'm looking for. I might be able to take a few maps and combine them, or I might make the opportunity to actually sit down and build out my own dungeon. Each wing can have like yeah, that might be cool. All right. Yeah, so that's what we're gonna. I guess I'm gonna make 4 planning sheets. I'm a psychopath, so I always bite off more than I can chew. So maybe we will just do 1 dungeon. But I like this idea of a dungeon with a center and 4 wings, and all of them go to the center. And then you could either take a different wing out, or you can just go back the way you came. I like the idea of that. But alright, so yeah, so we've made enough creatures. We're basically we haven't made the vile roots. Yeah, let's smash out the vile roots real quick. So to do that, let's see if there just happens to be a plant creature that does what we want at low CR. Do awakened shrubs do what we want? Shriekers I know won't do what we want. Pickle Rook! Fucking stupid. Twig Blights I don't think will do what we want. Well, a Vine Blight might. So, if we get rid of this entangling plants, let's do the Vine Blight. We'll start with the Vine Blight. Ooh, are these not... Well, they're part of the monster manual. Wow, Twig Blights are basic, but Needle Blights and Vine Blights... Alright, well, there's a bunch of creatures that use the Constrict ability, so I'm not too worried about that. I'm not gonna do a false... Okay, we're gonna just use this as inspiration. So we're gonna default this. And we're gonna call this a, Vile Root. They're medium. They're gonna be type plant. They're gonna have... So you have 1 hit dice. No armor with 6 ducks. We're gonna give them a decent strength. Alright, so since their AC is so low, let's give them a little bit of health. Yeah, okay. That's a decent. Int is gonna be borderline. We're gonna do 3. 10 seems fine there. 3 charisma. Let's just do 5, 10, 3. So we are gonna give these guys blind sight though. They're gonna have 10 feet of blind beyond. Blind sight, 10 feet. Blind beyond this, 10 feet. Languages. We're gonna do understands Terran, but cannot speak it. Understands, but cannot speak. The CR rating is gonna be. I want it to be 0. But, alright, so if we got 2 on a medium creature, 2d8, with 10 constitution, and armor class of 8. Yeah, they have a 0, yeah, they have a 0 CR. Now the damage, we use this constrict ability. Well, let's make it a melee weapon attack using strength. So we're going to call this constrict. It's going to have 10 feet of reach, 1 target. So it's got 2d6. We're going to do 1d6 of bludgeoning. Bludgeoning damage. And a large or smaller target is grappled. Escape DC 12. Until this grapple ends, the target is restrained and the root can't strict another target. Alright, and then we're gonna go over here to the CR calculator, go to 5. Attack bonus is what? +4 to hit? Yeah, we're at 1/8. This is perfect. Oh, speed? 0. This is perfect. So they're 1/8. Which I think is fine. We could make this even weaker. We can make it do no damage, and it just grapples. But no, I like it. I like it doing damage. We're gonna have to probably test this combat. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to test this combat. For sure. Because, so if we go, let's just go to, well here, we can go to this encounter builder here. Tools, encounter builder. I haven't used this in a while, so I don't know if they've probably made some better. So if we do Awakened Tree, which is what this basically is, and then we do Um, this not, yeah, let's do... Alright, let's just do... Add the twig blights because they're basically the same. So if we do 6 of these, so if we manage this for 5, level 1, no, what? Why 5? 4. Yeah, let's do this for 4. So this is a deadly encounter. Oh wow, it is. Oh, that's a. See, the more that I do this, the more that I think I should start the whole entire thing at level 1. I just like the idea of them having basically nothing to start with. Because, like, this by itself is deadly, right? The Awakened Tree. But only a little bit. Okay, so well, what if I put in a bunch of level 0s? Let's... Well, what's funny is, I think even if I change this to level 2 characters, and we throw in a bunch of twig blights, boom, 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 boom. It's double deadly. Almost double deadly. I think it's going to be fine because those creatures can't move. They only have a threat radius of 10 feet. There's only 6 of them, so you can't really place them in a way. Yeah, I think we're going to be okay with this fight. Because remember, they're going to be able to prepare for this combat. They're going to know what's coming. They started on their own terms. They're going to be able to eat food to increase the amount of health they have. So they're not really going to be just level 1s. They're going to be level 1s with a bunch of extra health and things. I think it'll be fine. I'm going to have to test it, though. I'm really going to have to test it. Gonna have to run just the encounter with some people, and they can go ahead and create a bunch of level 1 characters to run against it. Alright, let's save the Vile Root stat block. I think this boss fight's gonna be really fun, though. I think Old Root summoning a bunch of Vile Roots to protect him is going to be an interesting and fun mechanic, I think. Yep. All right. So, last thing I wanted to do was because I wanted to do it for myself, and I want you to see how this works. Also, I'm going to maybe, yeah, I'm going to upload this. So, alright, there we go. There's Mechagnome, the one I prepared myself. Here's Vault of Terror, which I will be running as a tournament adventure. That's going to be all, I'm going to put that all over Twitch. in June, we're going to be running a 5th edition tournament. This one was made for the GaryCon tournament, but I'm going to be running it for my Discord, my private Discord. I'm going to give out prizes. I just ordered the prizes, so those should be here in June, and we're running it in June, so they'll be here plenty of time ahead of that. But what I wanted to show you was, this is the Forge. This is what I run Foundry in. You can buy Foundry and host Foundry on your own computer and have people connect to it, but if you pay the Forge, I think it's about the same price as a Roll20 subscription. You can use this program. So if I hit configure real quick, we're gonna go over to yeah, we're gonna go to here, create new game, blank new game, D&D 5e, and this is going to be, so I'm going to be running this new adventure for my, it's going to be the one shot, but it's going to take probably about 4 sessions to run. But it's this adventure called Queen of the Shadows. So remember I told you I messed up by prepping Mechagnome myself? Well, I'm going to prep Queen of Shadows the proper way, so I don't have to waste so much time. So the way this works in here is you actually have to zip this up. So I'm going to pop this into a Queen of Shadows.zip. So that should be perfect. There it is. And now if I do summon import wizard, zip file, pick the zip file I want, Queen of the Shadows, open, analyze. It just knows what this is. So I'm going to go ahead and click this and import. It takes a little time, but what this is doing is it's putting all of the images, all of the maps, everything, all the creatures, everything I need to run this adventure is just being right into Foundry. Done. Alright, cool. Now I'm going to go ahead and open... Now we're going to do this, and we're going to call this Queen of the Shadows. Break it. Alright, we're going to go ahead and just, we're going to open up that Queen of the Shadows for that artwork, and we're going to bloop that in as the title. I'm not going to write anything in there for now. We're just going to hit save. Cool. Cool, cool. And then we're just going to go ahead and launch it. This might take a moment. Alright, we're in. So, you don't see anything. Nothing set up. There's nothing in here. That's fine. Because what it did was, what I need to do is I need to go to Manage Modules. And I got all these modules I have installed, but I need to find DMDave Queen of Shadows. And I'm going to activate that. I'm going to activate LibWrapper, Better Rolls, Conditions, Dice So Nice. These are the ones I use. Plutonium, Kings. That's it for now. Save module, and it's going to restart. I understand. Get rid of this. Alright, so watch how easy this is. So now we have Queen of Shadows in the compendium. If you click one of these, it'll open. And here's all the creatures. But what's cool is, would you like to import all the content from the Queen Adventures into your world? Yeah. So I hit yes. Boom. So, now the adventure is loaded into Foundry. And it's ready to run right off the bat. So, that's the landing page. But see, they're going to have all the scenes over here. So we can go over here and click View Scene. This is something called Madrock Judica's Hall. All of that beautiful map already all put in there. It's beautiful. Alright guys, I will be right back. 1 second. All right, I'm back. Here we go. All right, so we were talking about this. So we were talking about this all being set up and done for you. So beautiful. I don't know what this is. Have you seen? What are these red ones? Oh, okay. I'll have to read this adventures because I don't know what any of this is. I've seen this map before. I believe these are all made by Tom Cardos, he makes great maps. This looks like an interesting. It's very spooky gothic, so that's what that's what my people want to play. So it's what I'm gonna prep for them. Oh wait, I already prepped. Done. That's what I love about this. So hopefully that'll help you. If you want to go to Foundry, and then you'll be able to find adventures, pay for adventures. You can buy them. I believe there's a bazaar built into the Forge where you can buy adventures that will work the exact same way, where you can pull them all in like this. Or you can get them off of, there's lots of Patreons out there, people that write adventures and do, they make them. I plan on probably releasing a module for my Viking campaign once I'm done. That'll be able to be loaded just like this right into Foundry. Probably we'll try to release it on Roll20 as well. It'll probably be on Foundry first because that's just what I'll be using, and then once I do it once, I'll be able to just export it. So I think that's it, guys. We're gonna call it a night. Thanks for joining me tonight for my monster creation and my review of Mechagnome. I will probably post all of that on YouTube, so look out for that if you want to check it out again. Also, I have other videos, and all my VODs are on my YouTube channel. I don't have a YouTube URL yet because I don't have enough subscribers. But so if you want to go over to YouTube and you can just search Dildorf, you'll find me pretty easily. Look for the same little red, my little face icon. You'll find it easily, and just go ahead and subscribe to me there. And I'll see you guys on Saturday. I'm going to try. I kind of rage quit last Saturday, but we're going to try again. We're going to play some more Boulder's Gate. We're going to get through it. I might have to lower the difficulty. I might have to swallow my pride there and do that. So, yeah. So that was the stream tonight. Thanks for joining. See you guys next time.